Mira, mi gente, deja preguntarte algo. Porque de verdad que yo no entiendo nada. I don't understand. I don't understand why there are so many brilliant wrestling content creators coming on here bashing either NXT or AEW. Am I the only wrestling TikToker that enjoyed the entire night? Am I the only one who didn't give a shit about ratings? Am I the only one who didn't rush to Twitter the next day to see who won the war? Why is that such a big deal in our community now? Why does it matter to you? Sure, it matters to people like Tony Khan and it matters to people like Shawn Michaels or Triple H or whoever's running that side of the business. But that shouldn't matter to us. Our job is to enjoy the product on screen. I enjoyed all of both shows. Did I have critiques? Absolutely. The Juice Robinson segment, absolutely out of bounds. The fact that Asuka and Roxanne felt like the main event and it was the opening match. I mean, at that point, what we saw in NXT, I felt like they should have been the main event because Asuka was the biggest star that worked that night. That's right. You heard it here. She's bigger than Dragunov. She's bigger than Dom. Asuka's a legend in NXT. That's what we were watching. NXT. So sure, I had my complaints about the shows. But I enjoyed it. It was one night of professional wrestling where it made me feel like a 14-year-old boy where I was watching Nitro and I was flipping back and forth between Nitro and Raw. I felt great watching professional wrestling. I'm 39. And I was like, bro, this is old school. I love this shit. And they were competing. They were actively trying to beat the other channel. That's the type of wrestling I grew up with. But I see all this discourse on here of people just complaining about how WWE pulled all the stops out to win the night. That's great. Who gives a fuck that they wanted to beat the other brand? That should be what's important. Your job is to beat your competition. McDonald's and Burger King go to war all the time with prices. Blockbuster and West Coast Video, all the time. The Yankees and Red Sox, all the time. The Niners and Cowboys, all the time. I don't understand. When did we get to a point as wrestling fans where competition is boo-boo? Like, it was Tony Khan's birthday. Why bring John Cena in? Mira, vete pa'l carajo, yo. It was their job to put on a better show. And I want to make this very, very clear because it's the one point that people are not talking about. We as a whole, as a human race, like to follow a routine. There's a lot of people that save Tuesday nights for NXT. So who's to say they didn't DVR AEW and watch it right after? Not a lot of people did what I did. One on my television, one on my iPad. No. There's a lot of people that said, I'm watching NXT, and when it's done, I'm jumping over and I'm watching AEW. Why couldn't it have been that simple? Why did everybody need to turn this into a civil war? It's not that serious, guys. It's really not. It ultimately comes down to this. Either you like General Hospital or One Life to Live. It's that serious.